What's going on, guys? Today I'm gonna do a walkthrough pretty much of what I got going on in my tackle setup, what I carry, gear I use, how I have my Plano boxes set up, just to give you an idea of what I personally carry on each fishing trip that I go out on. So first one is going to be my hard bait box. I got pretty much some deep divings in the back, a nice live target one. Usually don't fish these a lot, very much, but they will come into play if I can fish some deeper water. But yeah, these are a lot of the ones that I have that are deeper. I got some square bills back here. Both of these patterns. I got another one in here somewhere. I'm probably gonna get stuck by a bunch of hooks, but I got those kind of like bluegill type patterns back here as well. So I got deep divings back here. I got my shad patterns over here. So these are all like square bills. Most of these I got from Mystery Tackle Box as well. So, and then usually I'll throw this sometime during the winter time, which about now it's kind of got that long bill, and it has a really tight wobble in the water instead of that kind of side to side motion to it. Just a more concentrated wobble. This one I haven't used very much, but it's a little small crankbait, lipless, or kind of like a lipless, but not. And it's a bluegill pattern. This is a really nice bait. Pretty expensive though, that's the bad part. Haven't used it very much, but this one is kind of miscellaneous crankbaits, stuff that I've found, some ones that I don't use very much. I got the crawl patterns over here. I've caught a few fish off of this, kind of square bill crawl, and another crawfish type pattern crankbait that has really kind of a heavy wobble to it. On this side I got some live targets. This is a little smaller one, little minnow pattern to it. Pretty neat. I haven't caught a fish off of it yet, but that should be coming hopefully soon. This one right here is a bigger bait. Kind of, I would guess this goes a little deeper. I haven't thrown this, but it's kind of got that swim bait pendulum type thing in the center. So kind of works like a swim bait and a crankbait, and it's got some nice rattles in it. Over here I got my lipless cranks. I got the red-eyed shads, smaller ones, big ones. I don't remember exactly the weights of them. I actually got this one from Mystery Tackle Box, kind of this chrome. That's what I actually caught my citation size bowfin the other day off of. It's kind of got this open gill pattern, which is pretty neat. And this one I kind of want to catch a fish on here soon. It's kind of like a squishy lipless crank. It's not hard, but it's soft, so it's pretty neat looking. Give that a shot here soon. These ones I got kind of like these the curved bills. These are pretty cool for some of the lakes that I fish at. It's kind of got a really erratic action to them, so got those patterns up there. That particular bill style I have in a particular spot. I got some smaller crankbaits here. Don't usually fish those very often. And I got my jerk baits down here. Got some big ones, some little ones, different patterns, which is pretty cool. Usually I don't fish jerk baits a lot. I'm not very confident in them, and hopefully here soon during this winter time I can actually focus on it. And I got this propeller bait here that I really want to give a shot. Never fished those before, but I got that in Mystery Tackle Box as well. And also some extra crankbaits that I found throughout the years and stuff like that. So this is all my hard bait box. And surprisingly, what I do personally for these hard baits, so you don't get a 1,000 hooks that are everywhere, these little rubber bands right there, usually for like braces and stuff, like when you get braces on your teeth, all these extra rubber bands right here I've used to hold the hooks together so they don't get hung up on each other. When I take them off, take the rubber band off, use the crankbait, and throw them right back on, I can take them in and out of the box without any problems. So it's going to be my hard bait box. Let's go on to my next box. Alright guys, next box is going to be my jig box. Got all kinds of jigs, colors, mainly green pumpkin and black and blue. I usually throw like the 3/16, half ounce, and 1/8 ounce jig heads, and I got some finesse jigs as well. These ones are the heavier ones in the back. mainly for fishing those grass and thicker areas that I want to punch into. Kind of got that rattle to it. Really not the greatest jig fisherman, but I always want to hone my skills in on jig fishing. Same thing with the black and blue setup. These are bigger, probably not the greatest thing for wintertime right this second because it's got that big profile to it. And a lot of lakes that I fish around here are darker water, so I'm going to stick with that black and blue type of color. Got some extra ones here that need to buy some skirts for, and some finesse jigs. Nice small profile for the winter if I want to go really small and compact. I got that going on there. And I got the let's see, what is this? Another finesse jig with the crawl trailer on the back of it. And let's see here. This one is the black and blue, another finesse one, kind of small presentation to it. And I got this I forgot which exact trailer this is. I'm gonna have to hopefully find the name of it. I just had a brain fart and totally forgot the name of the trailer, but kind of smaller presentation, more of a finesse type jig. But like I said, I'm not really a big jig fisherman, but I will always get better at it and try to perfect my fishing on it. Got a football jig here and all that good stuff. So that will wrap up my jig box. On to my next box. I can get them open with one hand. It is going to be my top water box. Now, a lot of these top water baits I haven't used very much, and some of them I do, and I use them religiously. My number one bait that I love this in Back Bay and fishing the grass is the top toad. This thing will buzz right across the top of the water, and the fish absolutely annihilate it. So I got plenty of those. I got a whole section of just top toads and replacements and hooks and all that good stuff. And I got a spook down here, or up here, with the pompadour lure. Kind of got all hung up. Oh, there it goes. But pompadour in a white pearl type color. Interesting bait. I had to buy one and see if I could catch a fish on it. Haven't caught one this year, but hopefully in 2017 I will. My spook, I haven't really caught one on that. And I got my frog section over here. Pretty much a whole assortment of frogs, popping frogs, all this good stuff. Pretty much all frogs you can think of. And then I got my poppers in the back here. So pearl white ones, hula poppers, and a walking bait back here. I haven't caught a fish off of this yet, but it looks pretty neat. Give that a shot next summer, spring and summer. And the mother loads of all top water is the big old whopper plopper. This is a sexy shad type color. And I got a perch color here. So I've caught a few bass off of this year, and hopefully I can find some big girls that really want to eat that. So that's my top water box. And we'll go to my 3DB box. These are all, a lot of the lakes I fish are shallow, maybe 4 feet and less, and I love the 3DB wake baits. Of course, I've got this all jammed in here now. Okay, there we go. Perch color. These are all running maybe a foot, 2 foot deep, so these are good for like those shallow running bass. Got the pearl white one. These are pretty neat. My favorite colors are these shad colors, sexy shad colors, and this kind of pearl shad color. That's pretty cool looking. And my go-to baits for these are going to be these the shad pattern here, or the sexy shad kind of fluorescent type of one. I've caught a lot of fish throughout the spring and summer on this bait, and good for these shallow water bass, especially Back Bay, Stumpy Lake, all that good kind of stuff. And a few new baits, or one bait that I got picked up, which is all tangled up. It is the mouse. Interesting owl. I'm getting hooked all over the place. But the mouse, surprisingly, I've actually caught a few fish on this year, and not very big, but pretty neat little action. Got a nice little tight wobble to it, and it kind of swims with the tail. And you can always change out the tails. I got some Johnson Silver Minnow little skirts, replacement skirts. Johnson Silver Minnows down here. Some beetle spins, all that extra kind of miscellaneous stuff I kind of keep out of the way. I don't really use as much, so I keep that at the bottom down there. And I'm gonna go to, this is kind of an assortment of box type of lures. So as of right here on the very top, I got this little box. It's a spinnerbait box, but I'm kind of using it for multiple purposes. I don't have a crap ton of spinnerbaits, but I do have, of course, your willow leaf blades. A lot of these are Strike Kings, and it just depends on the water clarity. I keep all my spinnerbaits up here. I got my buzz baits working down here, so each one of these buzz baits I keep in there all tied down so it's nice and neat. And over here, surprisingly, I decided to do this. I put all my swim jigs right here. So all my swim jigs are in a row and nice and neat out of the way. And also my chatterbaits. I got my chatterbaits over here. Fish these a lot. So what I do is I can just, if I can get it out of here now. So what I'll do is I'll just put this right here. I'll slide the head right on down here, and it keeps everything nice and neat and organized. So I got my spinner baits, my buzz baits, swim jigs, and my chatter baits. So that's kind of how I have that particular box set up. Something new. I mean, I could eventually, when I get a bunch of spinner baits, I'll go ahead and take them out and move them however I need to move them. All right, next box. All right, guys, the next thing is going to be my soft plastic box. Pretty much, these are not all my soft plastics. I have way too much to even hold onto or put into one single box. So I have them hanging up over here. Of course, I got all my assortment of rods and all the way around, pretty much all my fishing stuff over there, and I got some hangers over there that hold all my soft plastics. So usually what I'll do is, I got all my, basically each trip I'll go in and I'll know which lake I'm going to or body of water and what I'm gonna fish or what kind of baits I'm maybe throwing and what colors. So I'll go in and I'll pick it off the shelf that I got, and I will go ahead and throw it just for that particular trip, so I'm not carrying a bunch of extra baits that I'm not gonna use. So I think this was for my last one. I got my bag of worms here. It was the big old tournament series ones like green pumpkin, but I threw all the worms in there that are all different sizes, shapes, all that good stuff. That's in my worm bag. The KVD rodent crawls, I got these in red, red flake kind of thing, and black and blue, and a green pumpkin one as well. I usually carry the Havocs. I love these baits. These are good for especially like Texas rigs. I got my Kitech swim baits for my chatter baits, swim baits, all that good stuff. So good trailers for those. I love the Kitech ones. And I got some more Kitech ones here, but I didn't have the packaging, so I just threw it in a Ziploc bag. Of course, Finesse green pumpkin zoom worms, and always my Senkos, swim Senkos, just a whole assortment of all kind of good stuff. And the trailers for the jigs that I was using are the Elite Chunk Juniors, and I picked these up at Bass Pro, and I got the black and blue, and if I can hold on to it, I got the green pumpkin. So they're kind of a finesse jig trailer. You can pretty much use it for whatever your mind desires. So all these are pretty much my assortment of soft plastics that I carry on each individual trip. I got probably 20 more bags of soft plastics depending on what I'm going to fish and where I'm going to fish that particular day. The other box I have, see if I can shut this with one hand or I'll just deal with it later. My next box, I usually don't carry with me, but I keep it anyways, and if I go crappie fishing, I will bring it with me. But pretty much my crappie box. Of course, sliding bobbers, all my jig trailers and little small jigs, and all different kind of crappie baits, just depending on what they want that day. I also have some small jig heads up there, and some crappie bites, some more swim trailers, more bobbers, kind of just a small compact crappie box that I take out when I decide to go crappie fishing. And last but not least, that I don't carry with me, is going to be my saltwater box, which it is kind of nasty. So it's going to be my saltwater box. Don't do a lot of saltwater fishing, but this is pretty much an assortment of what I would use, I guess. For the speckled trout, I like using those, mirror lures. Another bait that I would use for speckled trout, kind of a little swim bait kind of deal. And some more lures for speckled trout, since I've gotten into that this year. And kind of, yeah, just a small, simple saltwater box, since I'm not a real big saltwater fishing guy. But give you all a rundown of what I carry, how I carry it, and what I take out with me on the water on a daily basis when I go fishing. But if you guys have any questions or any comments or suggestions you may want, go ahead and shoot me a comment or an email, and I'll be glad to answer them. But thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you out on the water next time.